Hi guys, Dr. Tati here and welcome back to Doctor's Gaming and welcome back to another D&D one-shot adventure. This is just a continuation of our first part that we had half an hour ago. This is part 2 of the adventure. First some admin I have to do before we get into the adventure, but that was actually quite a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have not seen it, you will find it on my channel. I'm probably going to create a playlist for it if I remember. Otherwise, we'll see how it goes. The embarrassment continues. It was actually a lot of fun. I think it worked out quite well for level 1 characters. I mean, level 1 characters are level 1 characters. But yes, we will explain to you guys what had happened in the adventure anyway in a few minutes, but let me do my admin. If you guys check it down below in the description, you can see that I have now affiliate links to certain games. A few games that I got today. The one of them being Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which we will be playing next month or as soon as we finish with Spyro Reignited. Looking forward to that so much. We'll see how that goes. But if you're interested, you can buy Shadow of the Tomb Raider by using the affiliate link. I will get a part of the commission if you do. The same for Bioshock the Collection, which is $13.50 at the moment. So it is quite a steal and quite a bargain for 3 games. And if you use the link down in the description below, I will also get that. The other game that I did remember about was Dead by Daylight Stranger Things Chapter, which we will probably actually try and play next month for Halloween. Next month is going to be Halloween Horror Month. It is only 10 days away, 11 days away, so that should be really, really, really a lot of fun. I'm going to try and get as many horror games as I can or thriller games as I can. We're probably not going to play as many, but the most exciting stuff is going to be happening on Halloween week. That is when we're going to be revisiting Halloween Horror Week. That is my favorite time of the year by far. I've tried to do that every year for my YouTube channel, so this is going to be the 3rd time I'll be doing it. It is just going to be great. So we're probably going to be playing Dead by Daylight then, and whatever newest thriller game is out at that time. I'm still deciding a few. There is that one game, The Beast Inside, that I will also be playing. It's either the demo or the full game that I will be playing then, as well as visiting a few of the old school stuff that I have. But that is the admin I have for you guys today. Let us get into our adventure, into our continuation of D&D D&D one-shot adventure Ghosts of Saltmarsh Earby Treasure. So far in our story, it has been an interesting one. Lilith, the Tabaxi Bard, has arrived on the ship, the McBeard's Desires and Delights, and it can only get better. Of course, it will get better. I think, like you said, it was fun. It was actually really, really a lot of fun. She's arrived on the ship in Saltmarsh, the town that she's hoping to get some treasure and some inspiration and some fame, as she is a bard after all. She sings, she dances, and she performs. She's tried to perform 4 times now. 1 has been successful, 2 has sort of been, and the one that she has just performed has really not been gone well. So she's trying her best, but she is a tabaxi, a cat person, in a town full of people, humans, and dwarves. So she's getting the sense of the crowd, and she's getting the sense of the place, and she's struggling a little bit. But I'm saying it's not her fault. I'm sure she's saying that it's not her fault either. The person that had helped her so far is Jeanette McBeard. It is a high acting lady from the McBeard's Delights. She is the husband of Captain McBeard, who is a full captain. Arg! Well, he pretends to be a captain. He's not really the captain. He's just there as the performer, but he goes arg a lot and arg, and he's got the full dress. Whereas Jeanette McBeard has this black emo type dress and thinks that she is in some kind of vampirian Shakespearean tale, and she acts as if she is higher than she is. She's introduced Lilith and Bob and her whole entourage to Hannah Rist, the owner of the Snapping Line, and that is where she has just performed. In her mind, a rendition of the cat tribe where she comes from, the tabaxi, the snakes, the mountain snakes where she comes from. And she thought the dance went well, but the customers started walking out on her. And the only customers left are a sailor who's really deaf in both ears, almost blind, and is just singing along to the fact that there's some kind of music going on. So he can't hear any of the dancing, but he can see movement, and he's going and he can't smell the perfume that both Bob and Liv had produced within the tavern. Feeling that the tavern was a little bit too bland, a little bit too sea themed, and stunk of fish, they had produced some rose and orchids and lilies, and the scent is still there. So that is where we had left off. Um, the other patron is also a dark cloaked figure in the corner of the tavern, a little bit further away from where all the noise was, about here. Um, and he's slumping at the moment, uh, but he is still there. Hannah had just said, "Darling, I have to get this accent. This is the one I have to think of all the time. You know, darling, I really, really, really appreciate you being here, but you're gonna have to perform a lot better next time. I got some money from the people by myself, right? They paid for the beer. Your friend over here smashed a few of my glasses. I hope you can recompensate for that. But that will just be an extra nice performance, baby. I'm I'm putting my trust in you. Prime Water said, and he paid me a lot of money. Again, he paid me a lot of money to have you here. But he said you perform okay-ish. That was not okay-ish. You have to perform a lot better. Okay. I cannot kick you out. You are here to perform. That is your duty. I'll call on you a little later for your next performance. You are free for now because I don't want to lose more customers, seriously. I have to go outside a little bit and go find a few people just to get the rush. The rush is going to happen sooner. No, I don't want to see you. Get off the stage immediately. In fact, how long is this stench? Well, actually, no, it's not the stench. I like the stench. I like the flowers and the smells and everything. I like your little decor. But these are fishermen. They don't know anything about these flowers. They don't know anything about these fiffy things. So you have to be careful, yeah? Right. I'll leave you be. Right, so Vinyl, you've got the choice of what to do now. Describe to me what it is you would like to do next, but at least Hannah has allowed you to stay for a little. The performance did not go as planned, but hopefully you can recover. Bob has gotten down from the bar that he had started smashing, and he's deeply apologizing to Hannah, who is ignoring him for now and going outside. He starts cleaning up the stuff and he starts sitting down and drinking. And you know when he's going to start drinking, he's going to sound a lot less, we call it performancey, and going to be a little bit more aggressive, hopefully. Maybe not, maybe not. But we'll see how far it gets in to his drink. So I'm going to make a few saves for him while we wait. So that, for that I need to do this and that. But yep, you've got sort of free reign in the bar. There is a bartender there, but he's not gonna bother you much. Uh, Interesting. What's this? Oh, there we go. What did it say? Wow. Oh, that's not bad. Lilith. Okay, so let's see. Get back to the bar. Lilith listens to the advice but feels beyond embarrassed. She breathes heavily, trying not to pass out, but soon she can't take it anymore and runs out of the building. Yep, the cloaked man will probably, hopefully, look after her. I'm going to make a perception check for the cloaked man because He might not look for you, but you run out of the bar. Let's see if the cloakman notices. I need to get the cloakman's statistics to be able to see. Ooh, actually, cloakman does not have bad perception. So let's see if he notices you. He does notice you. Excellent. So yes, as you get embarrassed and see what has happened, you run out of the bar, and the cloakman does stand up. The old man. Let's see what the old man does. So I'm doing a few rolls here while we wait for the old man. Just goes. He doesn't even notice that the music has stopped. That the bar is completely quiet. That he's the only one still there. He's still singing his little tune that he made up in his head. He's still going along. But the cloakman walks off to you. Not in a complete rush, but he is there. Val, welcome back for the lurkers. And he slowly walks up. Do you run far away, or do you just run outside, catching your breath, allowing the cloakman to do what as she wishes? Marketplace. All right, yeah, I've got music to share right here, right? We have. Let's go here. Ah. So as you're outside in the market district, the food, the vendors, the noise of people, take a few deep breaths and think about it. Rethink your options a little bit. Wonder what you should or would have done better. Hopefully, you're not running too far away, but as far as I know, I'm just running out of the building. The Bob has also just sat there. He didn't see you go anywhere. Everyone else is at the bar consoling Bob. He's not too happy. And the cloaked man does approach if you're not running too far away. And he puts a very, very, very tanned hand on your shoulder. And you hear this deep, gruff voice. And he says, darling, that must have been embarrassing. I enjoyed the flowers. Rosadea, right? Okay. She cries her eyes out. Okay, so as she's crying her eyes out, let me just change the scene over there. The cloaked man does walk out slowly, lifts your chin up, and you look up at this tanned hand and a tanned figure inside this long beard, well groomed, well taken care of, and flowing figure with a few sticks in its sides. This serene looking face and long dreadlocks. You can see that this man has been outside for a long time. And he does console you, and he does lean down a little bit, and he says, those were Rosadea and Liliums. I like them. You should not give up on your dreams so easily, my dear. Flowers bloom. People make mistakes. But don't ever think you are to blame for ignorant folks. And he starts waving his hand in a circle, and you can see this intricate little pattern forming in the air. These flowers just springing forth from a circle that he's made. And the scents and smells that Hugh had made starts breathing into these flowers, and this crown in mid-air. He lets it fall into his hand, says, I think this should help. It's a small gratitude and a small platitude for some entertainment. To be honest, I'd come to the bar to calm my nerves, but I had not felt a spirit like yours in a long time. I'd fallen asleep during most of your performance, to be honest, but when I had smelt the beautiful flowers and had the dream about our Lord, and I'd been confused at first. Deity, I have knowledge about these kinds of things, but cats had not come into my dreams in a long time, and I had the sense, a feeling that it had to be you, because when I woke up and I saw your pretty face, I knew that I had found the right person. Be dreaming about cat lords is not my forte, but I'd heard of you before, and I guess it must have been your performance that struck a nerve in me. As I said, I'd been nervous myself. I'd gone to a place where I'd not been before. I'd heard rumors, I'd heard flatteries, but I went to visit the house on the hill. Now, don't want to talk about it here in the front, so if you do wish, come back. I mean, it's quiet now and there. Come back inside and we can talk about our days and how bad it's been. I've got a feeling that you and I both have had some similarities. These town folks don't take kindly to druids after all. And he stands up and walks back in. Anything you'd like to do as this gentleman walks away? You are still getting curious looks again from some of the market vendors. One or two people do come up to you and offer their services and say, one silver piece for a bread, or would you rather prefer some fish? I don't know. We're out of fish at the moment. It's a bit too late for it. You might have to come back tomorrow morning, but I can give you what I have. Just please make sure you don't steal it. Okay. And you're getting these sympathetic looks, but you're also seeing some of the people that had been in the bar walking around and talking about the performance. Unfortunately, it is spreading a little bit more. You also see Hannah trying to calmly get her patrons back and trying to convince a few people, which I can probably roll for, that your performance was not the last performance, and it will improve for sure. She doesn't do too well in convincing people though. Boop, 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 boop. Yep. Let's check here. Okay. If you do want to remember if you've met the man before, you can make a history check actually to see if you've met the man before. Now, since you are unfortunately not, or Cloudbot is not awake just yet, I will make the history check for you to see if you've remembered the man. You do have +2 to history, so maybe you've heard tale of this type of druid before. So let's see. Yes, like you said. no memory twinkles whether you've heard of druids before or whether you've met these kinds of people before. And looking at him, his face was just too dark and too unrecognizable. The hood was way too up to be able to notice anything going on. But he did give you at least a gift of flowers, and you go back into the bar, and you see him back at his seat, motioning towards you to sit down. So you've got either the choice to go to Bob and your companions, or you can go to him and listen to his story and find out what he wants. He's looking a little bit grave, but not too much. He's now removed his hood, and you can see that he's got a tumble of dark hair. A handsomest face. It's probably the handsomest face you've seen around here. And he's got quite a lot of flowers wreathed into quite a few places. The cloak is of a Celtic design, and there is somewhat of a sense of nature to him. You smelt it when it was close to you, but now you can smell it again. You can smell the moss and trees and sea on this person. As he's waiting for you, he starts taking out a pipe from his pocket, puts it in his mouth, and just sparks his hand, and a flame enters into his hand, and he just stokes up a little bit of a smoke. The smoke rises around his face, and you can see and smell thyme, mint, and rosemary coming from his side. The smell of your roses and lilies and all that stuff is still in there because it hasn't really been an hour. So the bar still smells, or the inn still smells of your performance, and you can still see some of the candles are around, and you see the beautiful flowers. The gentleman who was there has realized that no people noticed him, so he's going back to just doing whatever he's doing. But yes, it's up to you where you would like to go. She looks back and forth between the crew and the odd man. Bob looks sober enough, and her curiosity is just too big, so she sits by the man, though not really feeling comfortable even being in here. Alright. Yeah, like you said, Bob does look like he's fine. He took his drink okay. And he is being consoled by the rest of the crew, so it is fine. And the gentleman nods at you, looks you up and down, and says, "Fair folk in fair weather. I have also been rejected by most of the people here in town, but I wouldn't say that's the end of all tales. I mean, who are we but healers and protectors of the forest and the lands? I had hoped that my companion and I would find answers which we seek, find magic, and find the secrets that this town holds. I mean, there is a lot of treasure if you're into fishers and sailors, but I get that feeling that you're not into these common folk. And I mean, I've got a few secrets of magic and mystery. I had not had the best of times. I've just returned from a dangerous place. You know, rumors abound in this place. Rumors of a wizard. My magic is not the same as this kind of magic. Mine's from nature. I don't see it as any real treasure. And you see the twinkle in his eye as he says treasure. I've been talking around town, speaking to a few people, and they'd mentioned this house of an alchemist who's got the ability to change any artifact, or anything really, into pure gold. Unfortunately, I alone cannot go into this haunted place, as when I'd entered, I'd felt death. I'd felt the misery, and I felt the anger of this house. Which is why I returned to this place, to drown my sorrows. Before I'd met you, of course. Another lonely soul, another, forgive my bluntness, failed mistake. Could not help but notice that you might be interested in a few things. Would you perhaps care to join me in my adventure? Go to this house and find its treasures. They say that this alchemist had been able to write many, many things. And he's got treasure. Believe me, they say he's got treasure. This place is centuries old by now. I doubt that anyone would know. Besides, we need to get out. I need to get out. What do you say, my friend? Sorry, I'm just looking at the map. I should probably be looking at other places there. If you do not wish to join me to go to this house on the hill, you could always just go to my abode and, you know, look at the nature. She doesn't know why, but she finds listening to this man oddly soothing. Well, I've always had a certain curiosity about wizards. It's a bit of an obsession and does sound like fun. Well, that is... Well, that is excellent news. I'd really not wanted to take my companion with me. He's a bit of a coward, you see, and Loris would have been a damper on spirits, but I do appreciate that you at least have some obsession. Well, I don't know about obsessions, but interest in this house. Please, please, do follow me. We don't have too far to go, and we might be there before, you know, sunset, if you wish to leave. And it's just, if it's you and I, or anyone you wish to go with. They say the treasures is quite amazing. The alchemist had been able to make various objects into pure gold. I don't know how much of that I believe, but I've got a few other things that I do need to find within. And I don't care much for, you know, the finer things in life. So let's strike a deal. Any natural things I find or we find within the house is mine. Any gold, trinkets, magical items, whatever we find is yours. I have enough to keep myself busy, but I do require a few fine special ingredients, which I can't find in my abode at the moment. But I require someone of some talent. And I've got a sense, I've got a feeling that you might be that person. I don't know what it is. Your performance, and perhaps the fact that you chose lilies is what struck me as odd. Sorry, I got carried away there. I don't even think I introduced myself. I am, where's my name? I got my name lost. Here we go. I'm Farron Castellar. It is a pleasure to meet you. As I mentioned before, I am a druid and I do help the folks to the north of here in the Dreadwoods with monsters and other things, aberrations, and I had feared that there might be these kinds of things within the mansion, but I had also been curious. And he starts leading you out of the bar, and Bob sees you, and seeing as he's never far behind, he does stand up and walk up to you, and instead of the usual "Hi, darling," and this is all precious stuff, he is a lot more sober and a lot more what you remember when you met him. A lot more stoic, a lot more, I'm doing my job and I'm here to do it. So he's like, my lady, what? And who is this? Why are you leaving us? And if you're leaving, are you going to leave me behind? I still have these stones I would like to show you, and I still have a few. And he looks into his belt, picking out a dagger, taking out a hammer, and looking at his leather chest plates. I've got a few things to give you if you don't mind. I could, you know, go with you, not go with you, as you wish. Blue, 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 blue. While I get a few things ready. Do 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 do. Do. What would Lilith like to do? Nope, wrong thing, wrong thing. There we go. This is where I want to be. Whee! Oh. Feeling a little guilty hearing the sadness in his voice, she says, "Well, you see, this gentleman over here offered a very... sorry. You see, this gentleman over here offered a very interesting adventure to me, and just wanted to take a look. You're welcome to come along if you wish to. Bob, at least giving a smile and a little curtsy, immediately just brightens up the day, and you can hear the joy coming back into his voices. Anything to serve you, my lady. I have been looking forward to at least exploring a little bit more, seeing if there's anything better than this ugly wood in this town. If you say there's treasure around, there's treasure around. Lead the way, he says, looking at the druid. And the druid gives a curtsy and a nod back and says, to a gentleman who's got so much green and such passion for his fellow artists, how can I say no? Follow me. It's going to be a little bit of a walk, but I'm certain that none of you would complain about this. As he leads you out of the inn, takes you back through the market area and down into the dock district. You hear and see a lot of people curiously looking. They recognize the druid immediately, and they know that he's just come back from the house on the hill. So they know that he's been looking into it for a little while, and they are suddenly curious and they start following you. And this time, instead of just the nods of that's a cat person, that's a weird thing, that's something new, they're actually excited, and you hear the gossip around town about this haunted place, this this place that has been standing for a long time within Saltmarsh, and no one knows really what's going on. They've heard the stories of ghosts, they've heard the stories of treasures, they've heard the stories of just intensity of this place, and it's out of town for a reason. The alchemist had not been one of those friendly people either. He'd not been part of the town, but the townsfolk still hear and know the rumors, and they follow you for quite a while through the town, keeping the distance as they do not wish to overcrowd you, but the crowd just starts getting bigger and bigger, and you start feeling that sense of anxiety that you felt earlier, knowing that these people might have heard about your performance, and you move a little bit faster, I'm sure, but you eventually get to the edge of the town around here, where the people who had been curious and had started moving start getting a little bit quieter and a little less excited, as they can see that you're either ignoring them or that you are brave enough to head to the house where they are not. They know what kind of danger lies ahead, and Farron keeps you calm, and he uses his best charm, we'll call it charm, his best way in expressing what he feels, and he shows you a few of the interesting tidbits. He doesn't show you the houses and the people itself, but he shows you some of the more natural features of Saltmarsh, the green in the ocean, the way that the river and the forests meet, the farms along the way, and he tells you some of the stories that goes along with it, and some of the ways that the people have made money here, jobs, odd jobs, the fishermen that enjoy or that bring in a big haul and get traded with the marketplace in the morning to get a bit of food. Some of the soldiers who go to shipwrecks and loot them, keep the town safe from marauding pirates, and jobs posted on the city hall or in City Hall by the commander of the, we'll call it an army, but just the soldiers within within Saltmarsh, and how his interest is in other places within the Saltmarsh area. And you're led eventually through town, and it takes about 30-40 minutes, but the road to the house winds through rocky coastal region. You are led along the coast and away from town. You see the sea below you, low clouds pressing upon you, occasional patches of sunlight appearing out over the water, and it's extremely serene and it's extremely different and quiet and calm here. No people to talk about what just happened. It's only you, Fen. Why do I keep on forgetting this dude's name? Ferren and Bob. And you can take a deep breath and relax for the first time that you've arrived here in Saltmarsh, knowing that no one can judge you here. You smell the fresh sea water, the smell of fish coming back. It's not the stench of fish, but just the reminder of what and who you are. And you are eventually led to this decrepit looking house, sitting high on the ground in the area. A stone wall that had crumbled a long time ago, exposing the exterior of the ground, and an ornate metal gate lying on the ground at the end of the way. No, not lying on the ground, just swaying slightly back and forth. You hear the screech, the ee, ee, and you notice the silence and the sea. I just want to quickly get another soundtrack while we get the silence. You also notice in the house, or the exterior of the house, it's about a 3-story house. There's wildflowers growing everywhere, and all the years, you can see that the garden hasn't really been tended to, but there is a vegetable patch that has been well tended, and you're assuming that this is where the druid has been taking care of the plants. And near the house there is a rotted wooden roof of a water well that rises out of the tall grass. So there's this patch of garden, these roses, these small little plants spotted. There's 2 statues, half decrepit and half covered in vines and seawater and salt and brine. And you've got this 3-story mansion that's just looking like it's depressed and made of wood that has been rotted and ground to pieces. But Farron looks at it, nods to you, and says, "If you don't mind, leading the way and keeping an eye out for any, you know, odd natural things that I could harvest. Animals, creatures, pelts, anything I could use in some of my spells. I would, of course, be happy to assist in any way I can. But I fear what's going on inside that house. And I would not be brave enough to go on my own. I will give you a map of the gardens where you are at the moment. Let me just quickly go there. Here we go. And I'm going to ask you where you would like to go. Alright, so this is where you are. Whee! You see the statues, you see the gardens. You see the house just to the north of you. While I look for some nice garden music. Ooh, nope. No. Ooh, well, let's see what this sounds like. Ah, there we go. Creepy, yay. Well, not too creepy at least. Bob looks so weird. Hey, Christine, how you doing? Yeah, since it's bright daylight, you can see basically the rest of the map, but it all looks. So here you can see the tended gardens on your left and your right. You can see a little fountain here that has something deep inside, but it's a little bit too far to see what's going on. And you can see the statues just in the well-tended area. The rest of it is a little bit. Yeah, no, I've got a black spot on my head because of the green screen. Unfortunately, the green screen does get my head going because of the light. It sucks. I can't take it away. It's from the light and the green screen, which sucks. Okay, Lilith, the backseat senses get to the better of her, and curiosity overwhelms her again. She looks around, sniffing the air, wanting to know about this place. She doesn't even show much fear. She slowly inches forward. Alright, so make me another roll. Make me a perception check. So this is going to be gamble 220. Christine, this is the reason why I don't really want the green screen, because I'll get these odd places on my head. I don't like it either. I can probably put my hand behind my head and will shine through, which would be crazy. 24. Right. So as you move forward, the quietness of this garden gets to you. It's as if this place, this eerie feeling of foreboding, gets you. You imagine you see things moving in the windows. You imagine the house suddenly having this face of a monstrous being, and you move forward quite a bit, and everyone is moving along with you. Why is he not moving along with you? I'm also going to roll for Bob, since he's also here in the party and he's part of your party. Let's roll for him. +4. See what he sees. He's also just as bad as you are. And you barely get to one of these rose gardeny things when you suddenly hear, oh, come on, game. Right, so everyone is following you there. You just get to be beyond the statue, looking around, trying to figure out what is going on, when you hear this terrible noise coming from there, from this corner. It's suddenly this it's almost like a scraping, screeching, scratching noise, and you hear the screech, and you suddenly almost jump out of your skin as this horrible screeching sound becomes louder and louder, and these 4 other voices also goes. And looking over at the garden spots, you see a little bit too late, but that's okay. These 4 weasels. Yeah, we're playing some D&D today. So we're describing the scenes, and we're going through what a D&D one-shot is. But you see these 4 weasels who had been digging into the ground, suddenly just their red eyes looking through the bushes at you, ready, each of them, to launch at you. This means we are about to enter into combat. Yeah, we're doing a one-shot adventure called Here Be Treasure, and we've got Lilith and Bob, hopefully not going to die right now, as they are about to be attacked by 4 giant weasels. So this is the perfect opportunity to explain to you guys how this is going to work. I'm putting up a turn order here, and we are going to add in people as we have our first combat scenario. Combat works a little bit differently. Where are you? Add turn. Alright, add turn. So we've got the giant weasels. We've got Lilith. We've got Farron. We've got Bob. Now, combat order is in initiative order. So if you check over here on your character sheet, you can see over here there is an initiative thing that says +3 for Lilith, +0 for Bob, and I will have initiative for the giant weasels and for Farron. So what I want you to do, Vinyl, is roll me a or gamble 230 and 200, so we can find out in which order everyone is going to play. So if you are on top of the initiative, you get to go first. But you see that these weasels who have been digging in the garden suddenly turn around, their fangs bared, and they're ready to pounce. So you've got each of us has different things to do. I'm going to roll for both Farron and the weasels. Let me just open the weasels up. Weasels, 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 wheezy, weasels, wheezy, weasels. Weasels has... Ooh, they're not too bad actually. And Druid, okay. Ooh, interesting. Alright, so... Nene. And then Farron. +1. His is +1. Ooh, that's not bad either. Oh, I see why this is doing that. Okay. Huh. Okay. So we've got 63 and 20. Okay, so that's a 6. Oh no. 6 for Lilith and 10. No, wait. No, 2. 2 for Bob. Poor Bob. Right, now let's put the order in descending order. Okay, and we can see what these this order is. So here you see the turn order is the weasels are going to go first, then Farron is going to go, then you are going to go, Lilith, and then Bob is going to go. So we will get to each of the character sheets as we get to them. But good luck, and hopefully the weasels do not go straight for you. Okay, so combat is going to go. There's 6 seconds in combat rounds. Each of you get an action and a bonus action movement, and that's about it. Different things are going to happen. All right, cheers. Thank you for stopping by, Christine. Hope you're having a good time. So, weasel number 1. I'm a little nervous, not gonna lie. Yes. I'm gonna make perception checks for all of these weasels to see if they they noticed you, but they don't know which of you to go for. All right. Interesting. All right. So one of the weasels got extremely scared when you suddenly rushed up to them, and he just runs off the map and just runs away. He's just like, "Ah, no, I'm out of here." So that one is gone. The other weasel over here, this one, goes deeper into the bush and tries to scratch his way deeper into the rose bush. Getting extremely scared by you as well, because you're a bit bigger than it is, and it sees a furry creature, so it knows you're there, but it's trying to be like, nah! And 2 of these are going to rush up. 1 towards you and 1 towards Farron. And they're going to try and attack you. So this is a bite attack. They're going to try and bite at you. They're going, ha! So let's see what happens. Yeah, what was it? No, I just closed off the weasels. Oops. So in order for them to hit you, they have to hit your armor class or higher. So your armor class is 13, so they need to roll 13 or higher to be able to hit you. Let's hope they don't hit you. This weasel rolled a 9. He does not hit you at all. So he tries to jump at your leg to get a nice bite into it, but instead of biting into your leg, he just goes and hits the side of your leg. and misses you completely. Scrapes a little bit over your fur, and he tastes some of the lilac that you still have, and it goes a little bit of weasel. So that's this weasel over here. Let's see if the other weasel can attack Farron, or is going to be able to attack Farron. Roll D20 plus 5, right? 13. What is his armor class? Ooh, ouch. He does hit the poor. This weasel actually does hit Farron, and he basically goes and smacks into the foot of Farron. He just goes. Now he needs to do some damage to him, so that is D4 plus 3. Yeah, D4 plus 3. As this weasel bites for 5 points into poor Farron. Farron suddenly gives out a yell. Ah! It's got me! It's got me! Help! Help! And that is the weasel's turn. So luckily for us, we're okay. The weasel missed you. The other weasel got Farron. So it is Farron's turn. Farron's going to say, I was going to speak to them. I was going to find out if they're okay, but they look like crazed things. What am I going to do? And he's going to cast Shillelagh. Shillelagh is a spell that he's got. That's a bonus action. Interesting. And he's going to rip out this staff that he carries over his back, and he's going to imbue it with some natural green magic. You see the staff starting to shimmer and shake, and he's going to try and hit the weasel with the staff, which would be plus 2 to hits. All right. Plus 2. Hey, he hits the weasel. He lifts the staff up and he just goes bonk on the head. Let's see how much damage he does. I just want to see what Shillelagh does, because I also don't remember all of the spells of all of these things. Oh, okay, cool. Alright, let's do this. Do. Ooh. Does he have any strength, this guy? No. Alright, so the weasel takes that 2 damage. So the weasel momentarily looks a little confused and dazed and just goes as it gets hit in the head by the shillelagh. But that is Farron's turn. Alright, it is Lilith's turn. What is Lilith going to do? She's got a weasel right next to her here who just bumped into her and tried to scratch into her fur but missed and got a whole bunch of hair. And she's also got a weasel next to her that's been damaged a little bit by the quarterstaff, but not enough. So she's got these mage hand spells. She's also got Thunder Wave. She's also got claws. She's also got unarmed strike. So she can use her claws if she wants to, but she can only attack once. So she can either use one of her spells or she can use an attack. What would you like to do? Obviously, Charm Person is not going to help because this is a weasel. She can move if she wants to, but she could risk a few things if she does move. Oh, I wanted to get music, and I've got to get the music. Let's go here. There we go. I was about to say, where'd the music go? Lilith at first doesn't know what to do out of fear, but soon she catches herself, she gets ready to fight, she goes for her Thunder attack. Oh, you're going to cast Thunder Wave. Nice. Alright, so Thunder Wave. Thunder Wave is a first level spell. You're going to cast it. A Thunder Wave is a wave of thunderous force sweeps out from you. Each creature in a 15-foot cube originating from you must make a Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, a creature takes 2d8 thunder damage and is pushed 10 feet away from you. On a successful save, the creature takes half as much damage and isn't pushed. In addition, unsecured object goes blah 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 blah. Alright, so 15 feet from you, I've got a measuring tape over here. That means this weasel is going to get hit, that weasel is going to get a hit, Farron is going to get a hit, and Bob is going to get hit. Unfortunately, this weasel is a bit too far away. But all four of these people have to make Constitution saving throws as this energy starts bubbling around you and this crackling wind just starts swirling around you and you just release it with your paws and everything starts moving. So I'm going to make Constitution saving throws for all of them. Just want to make sure it's Constitution saving throws. Yes, it is. And if they beat 11, all four of them, or any of them, they take half as much damage. If they don't, then they take full damage and is pushed away. So remember, this is going to affect both Farron and Bob as well, but it's still a very good attack. This might not end well. We'll see how this goes. Unfortunately, it's specifications of the spell. It does say any creature within that phase, but hey, you gotta risk it for the biscuit. So all of them have to make Constitution saving throws. Let's go for Giant Weasel number 1. His Constitution is bad, so both the weasels, they get no modifier for their. Well, that weasel fails, so he's going to take all of the damage. That weasel fails, he's going to take all of the damage. And let's see what Farron does. How's his Constitution doing? Farron's Constitution is +1, so it's not bad. D20 +1. 3. Oh, Farron fails. He's going to take all of the damage. Oh no. D20 plus. But luckily, Bob is actually really good at. Wait, I need to check Constitution saving throws, right? Yes, Bob is really good at these kinds of things. He's gotten used to building and construction and things falling on him. So hopefully he can save from this because he's got +5 to his. No, he does not. He also fails. So everyone is going to be pushed 10 feet away. So let's push everyone 10 feet away from you. And they're going to take damage. 1, 10 feet, 10 feet, 10 feet, 10 feet. So I need you to roll. Well, I'm going to actually, unfortunately, have to roll the d8s for you here because there's 2 d8s. But let's hope you don't do too much. You get to kill the weasels, but not to kill your friends. Now I feel guilty. It's okay. We'll see how this goes. You reacted. You went, wah! Let's see. Lilith, 2d8. Nope. Roll 2d8. Oh, only 2 damage. So 2 damage is lucky for you. It doesn't it's pushed everyone away, which is great, and it hasn't hurt any of her companions too badly. The one pressed the wrong button. I started and stopped my streams. The one weasel is okay. Well, is looking a little bit rough. The other weasel is also starting to hurt, but it gets pushed. Both of them gets pushed like a few feet away from you. So that's not bad, actually. Is the stream back? Is everyone okay? Are we good? Are we okay? Are we living? As you suddenly yell out and say, "Not today!" Alright, and Bob also takes 2 damage because Bob got hurt. So we'll damage him. He's on 9 health, so he's still looking good. And Farron takes a little bit of damage as are all pushed away. Good. It's Bob's turn. What do you think Bob will do? Actually, Bob is going to, because I'm playing Bob, sorry. Bob is going to run. He was going to throw you stones, but you're a bit too far away from him. Let's see, can he? He doesn't want to. So he's going to actually. He can still throw you stones. Who knows what he will do? I'll think of what he's going to do. You know what Bob's going to do? He's going to grab those 3 stones that he talked to you about earlier, and he says, "Stay away from my Lilith!" And he's going to try and throw all 3 of the stones at one of the weasels, the one closest to, no, the one furthest from him, the one that's really close to you. So there's this weasel here, and then there's this weasel here. He's going to try and throw it to this weasel here. Let me just double check this. Alright, yeah, he's got 3 magic stones he can use. He can only throw 1 at a time. So I'm also learning some of the new things that they have, obviously. New. +6, cool. Let's see if he hits the weasel. Oh no, he misses. Oh no. Bob casts this blue energy onto the stones, and you see him pick one of the 3 stones up, and he aims and says, "Not my Lilith," and throws it at the weasel, but it just flies over its head. The weasel basically looks at it and goes, as it passes his head and just tumbles into one of the... Oh, no, actually, no, I lied. It hit him. Why did I think it missed? It hit for 23. So that's... Why did I think it missed? I'm sorry about that. Let's do the damage. I'm reading incorrectly. Magic Stone D6 plus 4. So let's see. D6 plus 4. Oh, wow. He actually hits the weasel on the head. Where's Mr. Weasel? Mr. Weasel. And the weasel is hit on the side and just goes... falls unconscious to the ground. Dead. So 1 weasel down. At least. That is his turn. Then we have... Right, so let me just say this weasel is down. Ooh, yeah, I can hear you, weasels. I can hear you. You're down, weasel. You're down. Right, we have 1 weasel down here that's close to both Farron and Bob. That's not bad at all. That was actually really good. And we've got another weasel here trying to dig away from you. He's going to continue digging. This one here continues digging in the ground, frantically going, "Get away from me! Get away from me! Get away from you!" Whereas this weasel at the bottom is going to run closer and try and stab at Farron again, try and bite him in the shoes, because he was not happy with what happened to him earlier, and he's very afraid of you pushing him away again. He's going to be like, "No, thank you. I don't want to be part of this. I love my life too much. I don't want to." Alright, we've got a natural 1. That means the weasel completely misses, and instead of going for the toe, it goes through Farron's leg and is now basically squeezed between the druid's leg. Druid can see him and is getting ready to just staff him on the head on his turn. So it is Farron's turn right now. So Farron is going to... This lasts for 1 turn, right? Farron's going to, instead of using his staff, he's going to produce the flame again. The same flame you saw him light up his... No. Sorry, I've got the wrong thing. No, he's going to do exactly the same thing. He's going to produce the green flame, and he's just going to try and butt the weasel again with his quarterstaff. So let's see if he hits the weasel. D20 plus 2. Oh no! No, he does not get to hit him. For some reason, the weasel is just too wily, and the weasel goes arr, 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 just turns around underneath Farron's feet and just goes in circles and does a lot of crazy things. Oh wait, are we still alive? We still okay? I hope so. I'm sure I am. That's just you two being weird. Alright, that is Farron's turn. Lilith, what would you like to do? You've got the one weasel trying to get away from you, and you've got the other one trying to attack both Farron and Bob. Let's check if we're alive. Well, that does not help me much. That will explain it there. Are we okay here? There we go. I think we're okay in the rest of the places. Doo-doo. Yeah. Ah. One of the other weasels also just ran into the distance. Is run too far away for you to find. Oh. So yes, it's Lilith's turn. What would Lilith like to do? She's got her her spells, or she can use her claws, unarmed strike, any other things that you might want to do. Lilith sees the situation as a chance to strike with her claws, and she runs toward the weasel while it's struggling, trying to give it a good hit with her claws. All right, this one attacking Farron. I'm thinking. All right, let's see if she can do that. She's gonna run. Hey, wrong button. She's gonna run down towards this weasel and try and claw attack it, hoping to do enough damage to kill it. Just pounce on a little bit of weasel. Oop. Alright, so roll d20. So the way her claws work is she's got to roll a d20 plus 1. You can see here. This is the stat bonus for it. If she can get higher than the Weasel's armor class, she gets into it. The Weasel's armor class, let's see. She rolled 11. Oh no. The Weasel's armor class is not 11. It is higher than 11. So she jumps onto the Weasel, trying to grab it and trying to squeeze it, but it just does not work. It just doesn't fully get in. She's extended her claws, but you can feel that this Weasel's fur is very thick, and you can feel also that there's this weird striped paint on this weasel, and you smell the paint as well. For some reason, it's just intoxicatingly strong. You can see that the weasel's going crazy, going arr, arr. But unfortunately, you're just not strong enough to push into it. And I don't think you've got any bonus actions. Unfortunately, you don't have any bonus actions, so that is your turn. But you've got the weasel in your hand. You can yell at anything you like while you've got the weasel in your hand, but unfortunately you can't hurt him. Not just yet. You're trying. You're trying. I know. Bob is also like, he's aiming. He's like, I've got you, my girl. I've got you. Let me just get out of the way so I can maybe bop it with a hammer. I'm going to bop it with a hammer, okay? And he pulls a small little hammer from his tool belt and is trying to aim to hit the weasel on the head to knock it out. So let's see if we can hit it with his hammer. Do, do. I did +5. Oh, wait, wrong place. Wrong place. This is what happens when you get confused. Oh, Bob! Bob, you're supposed to be good at this. He rolled an 8. He didn't even get close to the weasel. The weasel, instead of instead of hitting the weasel, Bob almost hits your arm and almost hurts you in the process, but it just swings wildly. If only it would work on here. If only, that would be so great. But clearly we can see it doesn't work there. And he just misses both of you completely. You can feel the wind crossing your fur as he tries to hit into you. So it is the weasel's turn. The weasel is in your hands, being squeezed by you. Bob is Bob just missed you. The other weasel that was in here has disappeared underground. It's got no interest in any of your nonsense at all. It felt the wave and it didn't want it. It felt the pressures of the wave and it just disappeared underground. So it's no longer there. But this weasel is going to try and attack you, seeing as you are in holding it hostage. Oh, glorious. Let's see, Mr. Weasel, do not kill us, please. Do not kill us. 12 to hit, 12 to hit. Your armor class is 13. It bites into your finger, but it doesn't penetrate your skin and it doesn't hurt you. It's just a lot of pressure. You can feel it's almost as if its teeth is wound or ground to the bone. So it's really grounded. But lucky for you, it misses completely. And in that moment, you do let it drop onto the ground and allow Farron at least to try and hit it with his staff again. So he goes and tries to hit it with his staff. Where is his staff? He is also just like, let me get it, please, please. And this time he's gonna grab it with both of his hands, so he can try and do a little bit more damage if he can hit. Hopefully he can hit. Roll d20 +5. Hey, he hits! Farron is using both hands, so it is bludgeoning damage 1d8 if wielded with hands. 1d8 +2, okay. d8 +2. Let's see how much damage he can do. 10 damage! Wow. Yeah, this weasel goes down quite quickly. This weasel just goes, squashes a little bit. You see its skull crushing a little bit, the paint splattering. It looks like it was fresh paint. And the weasel just goes into the ground. And with a sigh of relief, he says, Farron looks up to you and Bob as the battle concludes and says, wow, you see nature fighting back. Thank you. You were much stronger than I'd expected. It's unusual for these beasts to attack so violently. But I must say you handled yourself with ease. As he breathes a little heavily. Bob looks guiltily around like, darling, I don't know if those stones were the best idea, but I'm going to pick a few up again. I'm sure it's going to hit all of them next time. And here, I think you seriously need this. And Bob is actually going to hand you over a little small knife that he was carrying around his belt and says, I know, your claws are strong, but this is a little bit stronger, okay? just a little bit stronger. Maybe stab them next time and not just scritch them with your claws. Okay? Just saying. Just saying, my dear. So he's, unless you don't want it, he's going to give you a dagger. So I'm going to add an item to your list over here. Dagger. And if you don't want it, you don't need to equip it. But what is going to happen if you do equip it, you'll get a new action. Is instead of doing 1d4 minus 1 damage, you do 1d4 plus 3 damage. So you always do at least 3 damage if you hit with a dagger. And you see the dagger that he hands over to you is a basic silver dagger with a beautiful wooden carving at the bottom. You can see that he's spent some time creating a beautiful looking dagger. The steel on it is used, but the handle is beautifully carved. Just in case, you know. And while the two of you talk and do as you wish, Farron goes around and collects the pelts of the weasels. So, what does Lilith feel after her first battle? And what does she do next? Oh, and I also actually want to check how the druid does with his medicine check. I'd say medicine check for... Actually, would it be medicine? I'll have to check it up again. But he's trying to skin the rabbits. Nature check probably, I think, is the thing he's trying to do. Not the rabbits, he's trying to skin the weasels, skin the rabbit. Alright. Hey, he gets to skin one of the rabbits really nicely, actually. The other one, so the crushed one, he didn't skin too nicely because he crushed the skull on his own. And the one here, he skins a little bit better. Despite the compliment, Lilith doesn't feel too good about this battle, so she keeps the dagger to use it for the next battle. She takes a look around to make sure that no one is around before going back to letting her curiosity run, getting closer to the house. Alright, make a perception check for me as you look around for people. So perception would be gamble 220. Just to see if there's anyone hidden around, anything going on here that might not be as it is, to see if there is any more dangerous weasels around, especially. You saw the one running away into the overgrown bushes, and I'm sure you're not going to go that way. And you are heading closer to the mansion, so I'll move everyone around. Oh, well, great. We roll 90. You look around, you see the scratchings, and you see that the weasels were trying to make a garden here. You see that this long line of paint on the ground as well, where the weasels were interacting. You see that the whole bush is covered in this paint. You realize that someone has painted the weasels, but you're not sure who. But other than that, there's no real threat you can perceive anymore. As you move closer, let's go this way. Closer to the house. So you're heading towards the north side of the house. You've still got that pond to investigate, or you can go straight in to the front door of the house if you wish. It's entirely up to you. You can hear the soft tinkling. Farron looks satisfied that he's got at least some of the pelts. He ruined the one, but he's got a fresh pelt on his side, and he's humming a little tune. It's a bit of blood is dripping, but not too much. And I think Bob is also just inspecting his tools, making sure that everything is okay. He's very happy that you've taken the dagger, and he tells you, "Remember, darling, when you do need things, just let me know. Those stones came in a little bit useful. I was able to kill that one weasel." And that's whatever you did with that cloud. Try not to do it with me around. Next time, warn me, tell me to run away. I don't know, but my heart was beating when I just went. Poof. Okay. Do, 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 do. What's this looking like? Okay, that's looking fine. I want to close this window. I'm just trying to close a few windows that are too many. Like the giant weasel menu I can close now. There we go, that looks much better. Alright, yeah, so would you like to go into the house or go explore a little bit more in this area? Farron, Lilith laughs at her friend's comments. I will try, but I do not make promises. The house in front of them looks like a true nightmare, but no turning back now. She goes toward the door. Alright. You can quite easily see that the door, because of the construction of the house, and like you say, because the house looks so forbidding and so depressed and decrepit, the door to the house is also rotten with wood. This house was built way too close to the ocean, and because it was mostly built of wood, looking at the door, you see that it's gonna take a teeny tiny push just to open it, and you don't need to do much. Inside, looking inside, it also looks a little bit depressing, and you can hear the creaking and groaning of the house as you enter into it, going further and deeper into the house. You hear the quietness, the danger ahead. You walk in, make me another perception check. So that is gamble 220. I think your perception, yes, is +2. As you walk into this house, your senses are immediately heightened. Your dark vision is immediately activated. Bob says, "Oh dear, um, this is a little bit dark for me, and a little bit creepy. Don't tell me we're going to be exploring this place now. Really? The treasure is worth this? Oh no. Let me just get... There we are. We are over here. 84. That looks not bad. Let's see what you are supposed to have. Right, yep, the front door opens into a musty, dirty entrance hall. To your left, there is a corridor. It leads into the west wing of the house. The walls are bare and bits of smashed furniture lie upon the floor. Ahead of you, another corridor leads toward the rear of the house. A staircase on the eastern wall climbs to the next story, reaching it at a balcony that overlooks the entrance hall along its north and west sides. So you've got this left corridor, you've got a corridor to your front, and a balcony that's just above you. You've got the staircase that goes here, and under the stairs of the hall is a third corridor that leads east. Other than the broken furniture, you don't see. Actually, no, you do. You see some tracks. No, you don't. Yes, no, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes. You see some tracks. Not many tracks, but you see one or two tracks leading to various points of the halls, but it's a little bit unclear. Uh, but this house is creaky and dreary and rotten. You can smell the decay in the air. And unfortunately, I do have to say, that is where we're going to end our little adventure here. We have gone a little bit over time uh, in what I've predicted and what I've prepared for. I still have a lot to prepare because obviously we haven't explored the house and we haven't really found treasure yet, and it is called Earby Treasure. So we will definitely continue exploring the house next week, Wednesday, and hopefully get some treasures. But I think that was an amazing, amazing first session. I enjoyed the heck out of it. We are definitely going to have to try and get this gambling thing or this D20 rolling thing sorted. It sure went better than the first one. That went a lot better than the first one, I agree. You made some new friends. Bob is proving to be good enough. Lilith is brave enough to do most of these things. That weasel attack was going to be extra intense. I was really scared of you for you guys there as well. Luckily, Farron has, because there would have been. This is the post discussion. This is the post game discussion session. We are finished with that with our story, so we will continue with this next week. But we would have been, if Farron wasn't there, the two of us would have been there, Bob and Lilith, and I don't know if we would have been able to handle it. And there was a chance that Farron would not have come with you, but you at least were able to show him and convince him to come with. And I don't know if Hannah Rist would have done any better. You missed out on the other things that went on. Loris's companion you did not meet. But this is what I love about Dungeons and Dragons. You get to have such a diverse experience and such a different story. This was not how I initially planned this story, but we got to where we needed to go eventually anyway. And I loved just the addition you gave with Lilith. I think we know what kind of character she is, and I'm sure she's going to get some treasure. We'll see how Farron does and how he copes with your eccentricities. Yeah, I'm loving where this is going. So next week we will start exploring the haunted house. I was going to make this just a one-shot adventure, but I think we can try and finish this one-shot next time, and then decide where to go from there, and maybe get a few things going. Because this was not enough to level any of you guys up, and usually leveling up also works after battle or after. The way I like to do level up is once a story thread is complete or once you reach a certain threshold in it. So if you reach like a major plot point, this one is obviously finding out the alchemist's secrets of creating gold and finding his treasure. So once that is complete, you will level up. Hopefully, either that or earlier. But we'll see how this goes. I really, really hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. It's a little bit slower than I'm used to, but we'll get used to it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Tomorrow we will be playing some MTG Arena and some Bioshock Infinite. So I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Have a great Friday. I'll see you guys next time.